Hey, I think we all know about the legendary beast. Their courageous leader, Entei. You can't hate him. Nintendo's favorite Suicune. Also, I just wanted to mention that it has the best shiny out of the 3, but my favorite has to be Ryoku. He even inspired me to do this challenge I'm about to tell you about. But if you don't know who they are, then you're not a true Pokemon fan.
Hey, what are you doing here? This is my video, you psycho. Let's go from where my crazy brother left off. So, there's this huge theory that the eeveelutions were reborn and turned into the legendary beast. I'm back!
No!
It's you again. And I have evidence. By the law, since I'm your older brother, I get the video and the channel. Now explode!
I'm pretty sure you didn't hear anything that just happened. But yeah, he was talking about that giant theory. So, let's say this theory is true. What if more eeveelutions were turned into legendary beasts? That would be cool. So, I was thinking, what if Umbreon got a form, and it got some influence by its beta form? And what if that's not who I was talking about. I meant to say Espeon, yeah. So, what if this guy got a form too? But its legendary beast form was inspired by its beta form. And finally, Leafeon, and its beast form was inspired by its beta, Leafy. That's a funny name. So let's get started. I wanted to start with Espeon, except I know that Espeon's known for its kindness, but what if I focused on its evilness? And it was based off of a mountain lion, since all the legendary beasts are based off of giant cats. That would be pretty cool. So let's get started. I went through a lot of phases while drawing this drawing. I guess that's what you would say. But other than that, at first he was supposed to be like this alien meanie guy that would go straight in for an attack whenever seeing an opponent. But then I landed on a look that was more like, hey, this guy's cool, he's smart, and he's the planner of the group, and only attacking when needed. Because this Pokemon is going to be really fast, as you can see in his stats, and have less of an attack stat rather than speed. Well, no. I don't know why I said that. But let me just guide you through the drawing. First, he was supposed to have this like little over thing you can see right next to his hair. I also changed his hairstyle later on, and his eyes. Look at those ugly things. In fact, I went through a lot of concepts, but I landed on something. I tried to go with how the mountain lion has this pattern on its face. I really like that, so I incorporated it into the art. But once you see the others, you'll see that this one looks very different from the others, since I learned my mistake while drawing this one. So here you go, Kotaru. I couldn't really come up with any good names. Here's its stats, and here's its Pokedex. This Pokemon was created in Shadow Lugia's attack. You'll learn more about that later. But our next project is none other than Leafeon. Also, it's going to be pretty mean. Of course, it's based off of what you just saw, a cheetah. Well, I don't think that Suicune is based off of a cheetah. I thought it was a leopard, so I decided, hey, why don't I make this one a cheetah? Of course, you can see that it's pretty bulky, so eventually I landed on, hey, I do think that Suicune is a cheetah, and how about this one's a leopard? Except I know that leopards aren't this bulky, but I decided maybe he'll be the brute of the theme. And since Leafeon is usually healing, now it's taken on the attacker role, angered that it died. Well, I don't know if it should have died, but I'm still working on the lore. Here's its stats. As you can see, it got pretty high attack. I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, here's its Pokedex. Pretty long. Now it's time to work on the leader. None other than Umbreon. That's also going to be based off of none other than the Black Panther. Panther. I got confused with the movie. But this one also went through so many phases. This one was definitely the hardest out of the 3. I know that it seemed like the first one was, but actually this one was. And I actually started drawing this one at first, and then I stopped drawing it. I went to go to the Espeon project. After I finished Espeon project, then I went on to the Leafeon project, and then I thought that I was finally ready to finish out this one. as you can see, that this guy got quite a few wild hairstyles and was gonna look super goopy because originally he was gonna be poison type. Of course, that doesn't really look like poison, so I decided, let me just make him dark type, which was a really good decision. And now you might be wondering, why would I even make it poison type? Because Umbreon's beta form was actually supposed to be poison type. Also, Umbreon, you can see, well, enough about Umbreon. Let me talk about the beast. So, you see how all the whole beast is yellow, and the beta Umbreon is purple. Well, I kind of scrapped the inspiration by the beta Umbreon, but it looks pretty cool. Now, let me tell you about this Pokemon. This Pokemon is the leader of the beasts that were created in the attack. But I'm going to show you a mystery Pokemon, none other than Shadow Lugia. But on the thing it says Dark Lugia. His lore was given to me by YP00. You just saw him. And I also incorporated some of my lore too. So, after Kasylum captured Lugia, he immediately escaped. While this was happening, Leafeon, Umbreon, and Espeon were fighting the legendary birds. After the legendary birds managed to kill the eeveelutions, Shadow Lugia came around and resurrected them. What do you think I should draw next?